Okay, let's dive right in. We live in this world where it feels like everyone, your neighbor, your barista, maybe even your grandmother is starting a YouTube channel.
It really does feel like the modern gold rush, doesn't it?
It does, but I found a statistic in our research that honestly, it made me gasp. It's a huge reality check.
Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Out of millions and millions of channels, something like 90% of them never even get to 1,000 subscribers.
And it gets worse.
Right. If you're aiming for the big leagues, the million subscriber plaque, only 0.05% ever hit that number.
It is a staggering drop-off. And what's fascinating is how people react. Their brain immediately goes to one word: luck.
Yeah, that it's a lottery. You just have to catch that one viral hit. Lightning in a bottle.
Exactly. But if you actually look at the source material we've got today, the consensus from the people who win, the 1%, is the exact opposite. It's not a lottery ticket. It is a very, very specific, learnable skill.
And that is exactly our mission for this deep dive. We're not just looking at one angle. We've got insights from some top Latin American strategists, Adrian Saenz, Camila Tiradentro, El Mentor.
And we're cross-referencing all of that with the advice from, well, the undisputed titan of the platform, MrBeast.
What emerges is this massive shift in mindset. You're moving away from just, uploading videos and hoping for the best.
To building what is essentially a media business, one that's based on psychology and hard data.
So for you listening right now, the learner, the creator, this isn't about getting famous overnight. It's about understanding the system. And speaking of the system, let's start with the biggest boogeyman of all.
The algorithm.
The algorithm.
It's the perfect scapegoat, isn't it? The algorithm hates me. It buried my video.
We've all heard it.
But Adrian Saenz and MrBeast, they are crystal clear on this. The algorithm is a myth.
Whoa, hold on. A myth. I mean, we're talking about one of the most sophisticated recommendation engines on the planet. You can't just say it doesn't exist. It's code. It's running right now.
It's a bold claim, right? But here's the distinction MrBeast makes, and it's brilliant. He says whenever a creator complains, the algorithm hates me, what they're really saying is,
the audience didn't click?
The audience didn't click.
Oof. That's a much harder pill to swallow. It's so much easier to blame the code than to admit my video was, well, boring.
It is. The code has one job. Reflect human psychology. If people click, if they watch, if they stay. The system pushes the video. There is no evil robot out there trying to suppress new creators.
It's just a mirror.
It's just a mirror. And if you stand in front of a mirror and you don't like what you see, you don't blame the glass.
Okay, that makes sense conceptually. But practically, what if I'm brand new? Doesn't the mirror favor people who are already famous? If I have 0 subscribers, the audience doesn't even know I exist. How do I break in without all the fancy gear?
And that's the second trap, the gear acquisition syndrome. This is where Adrian Saenz brings in a concept from the business world.
The lean startup.
The lean startup, exactly. You don't wait for perfection. You launch a minimum viable product.
Okay, so how does that apply here?
Adrian suggests a 3-day challenge.
Yeah.
Day 1, you plan. Day 2, you record, and it can just be on your phone.
Seriously, just the phone.
Just the phone.
Yeah.
Day 3, you edit and you publish. The goal isn't to create a masterpiece. The goal is to face the market, to get feedback immediately.
So if I spend like 6 months planning my magnum opus video, I'm actually hurting myself.
You're operating in a total vacuum.
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea if anyone even cares. It's that fail fast mentality. And MrBeast backs this up with his 100 videos rule.
I love this rule.
It takes so much pressure off. He basically says your first video will have 0 views.
Okay.
In fact, your first 100 videos are probably going to be terrible.
Wow. That sounds really discouraging, honestly. Go make 100 terrible things.
It sounds harsh, but it's actually liberating. Think about it. If you know your first 100 videos are just practice,
You stop trying to be perfect.
you stop obsessing over the lighting and the sound. He says don't try to make one perfect video. Make 100 videos, and with each one, just improve one small thing.
So like in video 5, I figure out my microphone.
Yes.
In video 10, I learn a basic jump cut.
Exactly. By the time you get to video 100, you have all these compounded skills that actually make you competitive. It's like learning an instrument. You don't book a concert hall for your first practice session.
You just play scales in your bedroom.
Okay, so we've accepted the suck. We're recording, we're iterating. But what are we even talking about? Because so many people just grab a camera and start vlogging their day, and spoiler alert, nobody watches.
That is the vlog trap. Unless you are already a celebrity, nobody cares about your breakfast. And this brings us right to the strategic foundation, choosing your niche.
Right.
And El Mentor has this brilliant framework. He calls it the micro-niche funnel.
Okay, walk me through that. How granular are we talking?
So imagine a big funnel. At the top, you have a super broad topic like travel.
Way too competitive. You'll get crushed. Crushed. So you go down a level. France. Better, but still pretty broad. Then you go down again to the micro niche. Paris.
So you become the Paris expert.
Yes. You dominate that small pond.
Yeah.
You build an audience that trusts you for one thing. Once you have that authority, then you can expand back out to France and then maybe eventually the world. You have to start narrow to pierce the noise.
That makes perfect sense. But here's my worry. How do I know if anyone's actually swimming in that pond? What if I pick a micro niche that's so specific nobody cares? Like underwater basket weaving in Paris.
And that's where the market study comes in. El Mentor is a great trick for this. You look for channels that have maybe 100,000 subscribers, so they're not superstars.
Okay, mid-level.
Right. And you look at their recent videos. If they have a video with 300,000 views.
That's a huge signal because the views are way higher than their subscriber count.
Exactly. It means the topic has high demand, but the supply of huge channels covering it might be low. That's your opportunity gap. And importantly, you look for saturation of format, not just topic.
Ooh, that's an interesting distinction. What do you mean by format saturation?
Well, take the finance niche. If every single video is how to make money with a person at a desk and a plant in the background,
I've seen that video 1,000 times.
that format is saturated. The topic of money isn't. So as El Mentor says, if everything goes in a straight line, you go in a zigzag, do how to make money, but interview digital nomads on the street. Same topic, totally different format.
Differentiation, I like that. And Adrian Sands adds this other layer, which I think is just, it's crucial. He calls it being a servant to the audience.
Yes, this ties right back to the algorithm being human. Instead of making a video called My Favorite Meditation Books, which is all about you,
Self-centered.
you change it to The Best Meditation Books for Anxiety. Now you're solving a specific problem for the viewer. You're serving them.
It's such a subtle shift in language, but a massive shift in value.
Right.
Okay, so we have our niche, we have our service mindset. Now we have to actually get them to click.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, because Camila Tiradentro drops a hard truth about where creators spend their time versus where they should be spending it.
She calls it the 80-20 rule. Most creators spend 80% of their time on the video itself. The editing, color grading, sound design.
The craft.
The craft. But that effort only drives 20% of the results.
Because if they don't click, they never see your beautiful color grade.
Precisely. She argues you should flip that. The real leverage, the 20% of effort that drives 80% of the results, is the packaging.
The title, the thumbnail, and the hook.
Those three things.
That sounds terrifying for a creative person, though. You spend a week making this video, and you're telling me I should have spent 4 of those days just on the title.
It sounds extreme, but MrBeast lives this way. He says he won't even start filming a video unless he can already see the thumbnail in his head. And for titles, he has a very specific rule.
Keep it under 50 characters.
Under 50 characters.
Why 50? Is it a magic number?
It's purely practical. On a mobile phone, anything longer gets cut off with those little ... If the punchline of your title is at the end and it gets cut off, you just lost the click.
So I spent 24 hours in a haunted house and saw a ghost. Becomes, I spent 24 hours in a haunted.
And the viewer just scrolls right past.
That's such a tiny detail, but I can see how it would just kill a video. Okay, what about the content of the title itself? MrBeast talks about using extreme opinions.
This is a masterclass in psychology. The curiosity gap. He compares a bad title, like I drank water, to a viral title.
Fiji water is the worst water I've ever tasted.
I would click that in a second.
Me too. Immediately I'm thinking, wait, isn't Fiji the expensive good stuff? Why is it the worst?
Exactly. It challenges your worldview. It creates a gap between what you think you know and what he's saying. Your brain needs to close that gap. But, and this is a huge but,
Clickbait.
you have to be careful with clickbait. MrBeast warns you can exaggerate slightly to get the click, but you absolutely must deliver on that promise immediately.
Right. He says if your title is I survived a quiet room, you better show that room in the first 5 seconds. Don't give me a 2-minute intro about your day.
It's expectation management. If you break that trust, the viewer is gone, and the audience algorithm punishes you for it, which leads us right into retention. Once you get the click, how do you keep them?
And this is where El Mentor brings in actual Hollywood tactics. He talks about the hero's journey.
He uses Titanic as the universal example. You have the status quo, the call to adventure, The trials, the crisis, the
But
resolution.
I have to stop you there. Titanic is a blockbuster movie. It has an iceberg and Leonardo DiCaprio. If I'm making a tutorial on how to use pivot tables in Excel, where's my call to adventure?
That is the most common objection. But El Mentor argues you're looking at it too literally. In an Excel tutorial, the villain isn't an iceberg.
The villain is the frustration of manual data entry.
Yes. The crisis is the deadline your boss just gave you. The status quo is you wasting hours copying and pasting data.
And the resolution is that moment the data just sorts itself instantly.
Exactly. You're framing the information as a battle between the user and the problem. If you just say, click here, then click here, it's dry. But if you frame it as, stop letting this spreadsheet ruin your weekend, you've raised the stakes.
You've made it emotional, not just informational. And MrBeast's editing philosophy is all about this. He is ruthless about cutting the dull bits.
Ruthless. He says if you're talking to the camera for more than 10 seconds without a cut, an angle change, or some kind of visual aid, you've lost the audience.
Our attention spans are just gone.
They're gone. You have to constantly stimulate the viewer. And he talks about the payoff, too. You have to dangle the carrot.
Right. Getting through that middle slump of a video is the hardest part.
So you tease the conclusion at the start. Winner of this challenge gets $10,000. Now the viewer has a reason to sit through the boring parts.
It's gamification. But how do we know if any of this is actually working? Adrian Saenz talks about feedback loops.
He says, look at your retention graphs. YouTube gives you a line graph showing exactly where people click away. If you see a big dip at minute 2, go watch minute 2 of your video.
Did I tell a boring joke? Did the audio cut out?
That's your community telling you what they hate. Listen to the data, not the random hate comments in the comment section.
Okay, so we're getting views, we're retaining the audience. Now for the part everyone wants to know about.
The money.
The money. And Camila Tierdentra has a warning that I think a lot of people, they really need to hear this. AdSense is a trap.
It is the AdSense trap. We all have this dream of that YouTube paycheck, right?
Yeah.
But the math is brutal. Camila points out that relying on RPM, that's revenue per mil or per 1,000 views, is a treadmill.
How bad is it?
To make just $1,000 a month from ads alone, depending on your niche, you might need over 300,000 views.
300,000 views every single month. That feels like you're just constantly chasing the dragon.
It's completely unsustainable for a new creator. You're always chasing the next viral hit. So the pivot, what the top 1% do, is to treat it like a business, not a broadcast. You sell solutions.
This goes back to her law channel example.
Right. She didn't just make generic law videos. She specialized in succession law in Colombia. Super specific.
And she sells ebook guides, virtual consultations.
Yes. She only needs 5 clients paying her $200 to make that same $1,000.
That is just, it's incredible math. You could do that with a few hundred views if they're the right views.
Exactly. You're selling a solution to a painful problem. That is controllable income. Viral views are not controllable.
And Adrian Saenz takes this even further with something called media for equity. This concept blew my mind, but it sounds a little like Wall Street talk. Break it down for us.
Sure. Think of a normal sponsorship as renting. You rent your audience to a company for 60 seconds. They pay you $1,000. You read the script. Transaction over.
You got cash. You've got the customer.
And if that customer stays with them for 10 years, you don't see another dime. You were just a billboard.
Right.
Adrian suggests that once you have leverage, you stop renting. You become an owner. You say, I don't want the $1,000 fee. I want 5% of your company.
So you're a partner.
You're an owner. If your promotion makes that company blow up, your 5% stake could be worth millions. You're using your media influence to build a permanent asset, not just get a temporary paycheck.
That is a fundamental shift. You stop being an employee of the platform and you start being an investor. And speaking of reinvestment, we have to talk about MrBeast's money strategy.
The zero profit model. It's extreme, but it's why he's #1. For years, every single dollar the channel made went right back into it.
Better cameras, better sets, more staff.
He lived with almost nothing. He essentially built a moat around his business. It's almost impossible to compete with someone who isn't trying to take a profit, but is just trying to build the biggest machine possible.
It creates this compound effect you can't catch up with.
It does. But notice the thread here with all of them. Camila selling ebooks, MrBeast buying islands. They aren't treating YouTube as a place to get likes. They are building an asset.
So let's try to bring this all together. We've covered a huge amount of ground here, from the 50-character rule to the hero's journey. If I'm listening to this on my commute and I'm feeling totally overwhelmed, what's the one thing I need to take away from this?
It's the 100 videos rule. It's the antidote to perfectionism.
Just start.
Just start. Except that you are going to be bad. MrBeast was bad. Adrian Sands was bad. The difference is they didn't quit at video number 10. They treated it like a learnable skill, not a lottery ticket.
And that leads to the final question we want to leave you with today. It's about that equity concept we just talked about.
Right. Ask yourself this. Are you building a channel just to have a job where you have to feed the content beast every single week?
Or are you building a media asset that gives you ownership in the real world?
The difference between being busy and being free.
That is powerful.
It really is.
That's it for this deep dive. Don't overthink it. Go record something. We'll see you on the next one.